Okay, let's get started. So, just to recap, what we have covered till today, till last class, we discussed what is Terraform, right? Terraform is an infrastructure automation tool, right? How it will work? It works on the concept of infrastructure as a code. Okay, so we have different ways of creating an infrastructure. The first way is, what is the first way? It is a implicit way. Implicit and this one we're talking about, right? What is that? Declarative and what is this? What is that approach called? I forgot. First way is declarative way, and other one is that? Can even remember. Sir, can you please tell me? Even I too forgot. Declarative and
Imperative.
yeah, sorry. Yes, thanks, ma'am. The other way of creating an infrastructure is the first way of creating infrastructure is using imperative method. That is, you will be using some programming language and you are going to create using step-by-step method, right? There are some problems here. That is, you need to create a lot of documents. You need to write a lot of documents. It is not a scalable infrastructure, right? You cannot able to store the history. It is a mutable infrastructure. All these are the problems with that. Then we have another way called as declarative. Here it's also all these problems. You're not going to use a programming language, right? You are going to copy paste or write a standard syntax using HCL language, correct? So whatever the infrastructure you get here, it is a immutable infrastructure. History can be tracked, and it is a cloud agnostic solution. Okay, so that is the advantage in declarative method. So in declarative method, we have something called as Terraform. In Terraform, you're going to create some file. Okay, this file is a reusable file using which you can able to create the infrastructure. And just to recap, in this file, we have two different blocks till today. One is a provider block and other one is resources block. What is this provider block? Provider block will tell you who is the service provider, what is the region, in which region you wanted to create the infrastructure, and what is the access key and secret key you need to use. Okay, so this is what the provider block will tell you to the Terraform. What is this resource block? Whatever the things that you wanted to create, whatever the infrastructure that you wanted to create, that infrastructure definition or syntax that you will write here. Okay, so using your HCL language. So using these two things, you're going to create the infrastructure. Once the file is ready, what you're going to do? You're going to do something called as Terraform init, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, Terraform apply to create the infrastructure. So this is what we discussed. And apart from that, how to store the credentials. That is the other thing we discussed. Okay. The best way of storing password is using bash rc file, or you can also store it in any of the secret managers. Okay. In any of the secret managers also, you can store these values. That is the other best way of storing the credentials instead of directly exposing your access key and secret key, right? So, and in the last class, we discussed dependencies. What are those dependencies? Default dependency. Sorry, I did not upload it. Today I'll upload that class also along with this one. So what is default dependency? There is no dependent resources. If this is my EC2 machine and this is my S3 bucket, both are independent resources, right? If there is no dependency between the resources, then Terraform will create these resources in parallel. Okay. So the next one is implicit dependency. Correct. What is implicit dependency? If one resource depends on other resource for its value, let's say EC2 machine and Elastic IP. Only if the EC2 machine has been created, then you can assign the Elastic IP. You cannot directly create Elastic IP first, then assign it to the EC2 instance, right? So that is why it is dependent resources. If there are dependent resources, then how Terraform will treat them? It will create one after the other. Okay, it will create one after the other. The last one is implicit and explicit dependency. What is this explicit dependency? Even though there is no dependency between them, let's say EC2 machine and again S3 bucket, there is no dependency between them. But what I'm doing, I'm forcibly creating a dependency between the resources. Okay, so how I'm forcibly creating? Using something called as depends on. It is a keyword, and using interpolation by referring the value in its resource, right? Using depends on keyword, I'm creating a dependency between the resources. Now what happens? Now explicitly or forcibly, first it will create EC2 instance. Only after completing this creation, this EC2 machine, it will start creating your S3 bucket. Okay, so this is what it will do, right? So till now, this is what we discussed. The next part here is see, for some time, just whatever we discussed about Terraform, just keep it aside. I just wanted to talk about the simple thing, nothing much here. Let's say I'm writing something called as name. Okay. So this name, see, I can write it as Manoj, right? The same name I can assign Nagarjun, right? The same name I can write it as Chetan. The same name I can write it as Suchitra, right? See, the point here is this name column remains same, right? So can I call it as a constant which is not changing, right? And we can also call this as, wait, let's not talk about that. See, this column, this name is remains same, correct? But these values, Manoj, Nagarjun, Chetan, Suchitra, right? These values are getting changed from person to person in your real life. Okay. What is your name? My name is Chetan. What is your name? My name is Nagarjun. Name remains same, but whatever the value associated with that particular name is getting changed. Okay. So these things we call it as a variables. Okay. In your, what is this? In your Terraform, there is a concept known as variable. What are variables? Variables are nothing but values. Okay. These are also nothing but values. Okay. So variables are nothing but the values which value keeps changing. The values keeps changing. Okay. So now just follow the process. What am I telling you? First, understand what is variable. Variable is a value. The value keeps changing its program execution or during runtime, whatever. The main thing you need to remember is it keeps changing. Okay. So this is the first point. And now see in our, let me, do we have any resource here? Export, install. See, we just have this, right? Where my resource? Just copy paste this. See here. See here, please tell me what are all the variables we have which keeps changing from time to time. See, AMI ID is a one variable, right? So this value is associated with Ubuntu machine. I can also change this with Amazon Linux ID. I can also change with any of the Linux flavor which are available. I can also change this ID with the Windows, right? So this is the one variable. AMI is a one variable. Again, see, T2 micro instance type will remain same, but whatever the type associated with that, it also is getting changed. Correct? T2 micro, T2 nano, X large, C4 X large, whatever the machine that you wanted to create, whichever the size that you're going to mention here. That means these are variables. Variables are the values which keeps changing during its runtime. Okay. So any doubt in what is variable, sir? Anyone? Now, see, now we started our discussion with something called as variable. Now you know what is variable. Okay. The next point here you need to remember is why you need variable. See, now, okay, I'm creating one EC2 instance and I'm defining a variable. Okay. See, this is not an actual variable. Let us assume this is a variable. Now I'm just telling you what is the problem with this kind of approach, that whatever the code, this code we are writing, right? What is the problem with this? Now I'm creating this resource exactly fine. I wanted to create a one more resource. Again, what I'll do, I'll create the same, then again I'll copy paste the same value for the other resource, right? See, if I wanted to create another resource, again I need to copy paste the same value. Just like that, how many times you need to copy the same AMI ID, same this instance type? Just here, there are two values. If there are multiple values associated with this, we'll create an actual EC2 instance. At that time, you need to provide a key pair, you need to provide a security group, right? And you might be creating multiple EC2 instances. So at that time, how will you provide all these values? Whether you are going to directly provide these values, it is going to be very difficult for you, right? So the point here is, I wanted to create a variable. You know already what is variable. But what is the advantage of using this variable? The advantage is store once and use as many times as you want. That is the advantage here. You just store once. You create one block and you create a variable name. Instead of copy pasting like this every time, each and every time, you use it from the wherever you stored. How to create a variable, that we'll discuss. Okay. So what is the advantage of using variables? Using variables, the main advantage is reusability. Store once and use as many times as you want. Clear? So that is the advantage of using variables. Now you know what is variable and what is the advantage. Okay. So the next part here is, it is very simple concept. Okay. You might be hearing it for the first time. Now you will get it everything. See, till now, let me open one more, this one. See, till now, this is our main.tf file, right? In this file, whatever the blocks we had, the first block was resource block, sorry, provider block. The first block was provider block. The second block was resource block, correct? These are the two blocks we had till now. Now there is another block. If you want to create the variables, now we'll introduce another block known as variables. Okay. Now just introduce the same variable block inside your main.tf file. That is what we are going to do. Okay. Now just come back to your this one. Why it is not working? Just a second. See, now what I'll do, I'll just okay, no problem. We can introduce another block here known as variable block. How to write this? Variable, okay, and whatever the variable name that you wanted to provide. Now, this one, I wanted to convert it as a variable. What I'll call it as AMI ID. Okay, then your this one, what is that? Open curly braces. Then you can write some description about that, but this is optional for you. Description. What does this variable do? This variable use for AMI ID or something. Whatever the description you wanted to write, you can write. And this last major mandatory field here is what is the value. So that you need to provide under default section. Now, what is the value of this? This is my value. Okay. So default and same value. Now, one variable is created. What is that variable? Variable name is AMI ID. And what does this variable do? It is used for creating AMI resource or something. And what is the value associated with that variable? The value associated is ID of that. Okay. So I'll create one more variable for your instance type. How to create? Same thing again. Variable, then whatever the name that you wanted to provide, instance type or something, whatever the name that you wanted to provide, then you can also provide description, TION, spelling corrector, DESCRIPT, description, type of EC2, something. Then comes your default value, DEFAULT. Right? What is the default value I wanted to provide? I wanted to provide t2.micro. Same thing. What I'm doing, I'm making it as a reusable thing. So let me delete this from here and delete this from here. Okay. Now, in our file, now we have a provider block, a resource block, and another block known as variable block. Okay. See, once your variable block is created, now you need to provide a value here, correct? If you wanted to create, but what you're doing, you are creating a section known as variable section. And from there, why you're creating it for the reusability purpose. Okay. Now, if you wanted to refer these values inside your resource block, then what you need to do is you need to use something called as var dot and your variable name. That's it. Var dot AMI ID. Now, this will refer the value which is associated with it. Okay. Now, please tell me, how will you refer the value for instance type? Same thing, var dot and whatever the name of your variable is instance type. Var dot instance type. Now what it will do? It will fetch this value and it will fetch this value. Okay. So let us create this. What's this? Let us go back and create this. Sir, any doubt here? Hello. See what we discussed. So duplicate names are not allowed. See, till now we discussed what is variable. Just to recap, variable is it's nothing but a placeholder which stores some value. What it will do? It will store some value. So what you can do this value? You can use this value for a reusability purpose. That's it. Nothing much here. Okay. Now how to create a variable? Now the syntax for creating a variable is variable and variable name, whatever the variable name you wanted to provide, and description is equal to whatever the description you wanted to provide, and your default value, whatever the value that you wanted to associate it with that one. So variable name, description, and default. There will be other fields, no worries, we'll learn that. But this is the basic structure of your variable. Okay. So now this is variable AMI ID. This is my name, variable name, description, and whatever the default value associated with it. Okay. So once the variable section is created, I've created two variables here. Once the variable section is created, what do you need to do? You need to refer this value into your resource block, right? Instead of directly providing these values here, earlier we directly provided. Instead of directly providing, now what we are doing, we have created a variable and we are referring a value from your variable block. Okay, so how to refer that? Using something called as var dot your variable name. Okay, var is a keyword, dot, and whatever the variable name that you provided, that variable name should pass. Okay, so that is how you can able to refer a value. So now let us go back and execute this. So just copy paste this thing. Control C. Where is this server? First sudo is u. Okay. CD Terraform. Yes. So vi main.tf. I'll delete all the content here. Okay, just insert. Did the same thing. Save. Terraform validate. Okay, everything is good. Terraform plan. See, one resource is getting created. Okay, now Terraform apply -auto approve. Right now, what it will do, it will create a EC2 instance. But in which way? We are not directly providing the values here. We are not directly hard coding these values. Instead of hard coding these values, what we have done, we have created a variables. We stored those values here. And by referring to this variable, we have retrieved this value. Use once and store as many times as you want. That is the advantage. Okay. See, now your EC2 machine is created. You see here. See, your EC2 machine is created. Fine. So this is how you can use a variable. Now, sir, any doubt here before I move to next thing? Let me destroy it meanwhile. Terraform destroy. Any questions? See, instance type, you can provide it anything here. It is not repeated. You're talking about this one, I guess, right? This instance type. See, this is the attribute of your AWS instance. You need to provide this, right? This is mandatory and you should write it like this. There are no changes. But whatever the value or variable associated with it, you can write. This is variable and this is attribute. There is a difference between these things. You cannot overwrite this. You cannot define two times. Okay. This one you can write anything. You can just wanted to write instance type or my name, your name, any name. Doesn't care. Okay. So that is an attribute where you can see all these attributes. Let me open that. See if you go to AWS, Terraform, AWS. See, this is the link, AWS provider HashiCorp. Here, if you just come down, EC2, where is EC2? EC2. I'm not getting it. Elastic Compute Cloud. Where is this? EC2 image builder. Here, just come down. And what I wanted to create, I want to create a EC2 instance, AWS instance I wanted to create, right? Just come down. You just come down here. You have all the attributes related to it. See, EMI is a optional. Whether you wanted to provide, you can provide, or it is not required. Associated public IP, availability zone. These are the fields that you can pass to your AWS resource block. Sorry, Terraform resource block. See, instance type here somewhere you can able to see that also. That is mandatory field. You cannot change these values. If you wanted to provide, just copy paste this value and provide. Okay. See, instance type. The same name you can use. You need to use. You cannot define other thing and refer it there. But for its value, you can create a variable. For that variable, you can provide any name of your choice. Okay. That is the major difference here. See, these are the attributes. You'll learn all these things. Fine. Now what we'll do, see, if you are clear, till now, we have created, sorry, we come back. See, till now, we had only two blocks, provider block and resource block. Now what I've done, I've introduced the one more block known as variable block, right? So this is how you can make your code reusable. That is absolutely fine. But now please tell me, please tell me, here you have only two variables. So we can able to store it here. If there are 100 variables, then how you are going to store? For each and every variable, you need to define, that is fine. But don't you feel this file will become even larger and it is so unknowing, or it looks so odd and it looks so confusing that you get confused what value is defined where? Don't you feel that if there are hundreds of variables here? Correct. Just see, just for two variables, here there are two other blocks you are referring here. That is well and good. Fine. No issues. But if there are hundreds of variables, how many are going to define here? Right? So for that reason, what we do is we usually keep your provider block and resource block in a file known as main.tf file. And now whatever the variables that you have, same variables, will define it here and name this file another file known as variable.tf, just to segregate the resources, just for the management purpose, just for the easy management. What we'll do, we'll keep provider block and resource block in one file and variables in other file. This is the best practice. Okay, so that is the reason what we usually do is, instead of keeping everything into one file, we'll keep your resource block and provider block into main.tf. Just copy paste this. That's it. Nothing you need to do. See, vi, just change this vi main.tf. What I'll do, I'll delete all these things. Can insert. I'll just keep this. It will remain same. Everything will remain same. Okay. Now I'll create a one more file known as variable or variables.tf file. And in this file, what I'll do, I'll just copy paste the same thing here. Okay. Now save this. Now what are the files here? See, one is main.tf file and other file is variables.tf file. Variables.tf file consists of all the variables which we require. And here in main.tf file, we are reusing them. Okay. If you just again go to that Terraform plan or Terraform apply, again, Terraform plan. See, it will not ask you for the value. It will get those values from this variables.tf file. When var, what happened? Reference undeclared input variable of vi variable.tf. What is that? AMA ID. Okay, fine. Second, something missed. main.tf. Where.instance, right? Where.instance hyphen type. Just save this. Terraform plan. Right? So this is how you can segregate your resources just for the easy maintenance. Fine. So now please tell me if you have any doubts. Otherwise, I have some other things to discuss. Guys. Okay. Are you guys practicing on a daily basis? Whatever we are discussing here. If you're not practicing, it won't work, sir. Okay. Okay. Now let's do this. Okay, fine. See, the one more thing that I wanted to tell you here is, see, just to clarify, if you have any thoughts in mind, how Terraform will read this variables.tf file, how it will come to know. See, whenever you apply Terraform plan and Terraform apply, what your Terraform will do is, if this is your current working directory and this is where you saved your main.tf file, variables.tf file, what your Terraform will do after Terraform plan and apply, whatever the files which are available in your current directory and ending with .tf, whichever the file which is ending with .tf, it will read all these files. It has the intelligence to read all these files So that is how it will come to know. So, okay, this value is stored in variables.tf file. Okay, this value is stored in some other file. Okay, so your Terraform will read all these files whenever you execute Terraform plan and apply. So in that case, it is not necessary for you to keep everything into one file. So now what you can do, you can segregate into different files. One is main.tf, second one is variables.tf. Here, what you will create? You will create a variables, variable name, description, default, and that's it. How will you refer this variable value into your main.tf file? Using var.variable name. That's it, right? So this is how you can manage your infrastructure efficiently. Fine, for easy management purpose. Now, let me talk other concept here. See, we are providing whenever you do Terraform plan. Where is this? This is one, right? Terraform plan and Terraform apply. Okay. See now what it will do. The first use case here is we are not providing any value here. If you see from where it is getting its value, it is getting from the variables block. That means, see, if you're not providing any value, it will pick up the default value. It will pick this default value, whatever the value that you want to provide. Now the next point here is, let me show you. Where is this? Assume now I wanted to create a t2.micro. This is my instance type. Now what I'll do, I'll come here, I'll create a variable and I'll refer the variable into my resource block. Okay, everything is fine. But after some time, my manager will come and say, Sachin, you don't create T2 micro, you go and create a EC2 machine of C4 large or C4X large or T2 nano in that case, some machine, some other machine. Okay. Now what you usually do? Usually you come to this place, T2.micro, delete this, replace with T2.nano, right? But if next time whether he is coming and telling you to create the same T2.micro machine, then again what I will do, again you will come here, you will delete this, you will replace it, right? So instead of doing that, see, while doing your Terraform plan and Terraform apply, okay, here you can overwrite this default value. This is my default value. Okay. So if I'm not providing a value, if I'm not providing the value, what your Terraform will do, your Terraform will pick this default value, whatever which is associated while doing Terraform plan and apply. And if you are providing the value during Terraform plan and apply, then it will overwrite this default value. This is the concept I'm trying to explain to you. While doing Terraform plan and apply, you are not providing any value. If you are not providing any value, then from where it will pick this default value. Okay. While doing the same Terraform plan and apply, if you are explicitly mentioning some new value, explicitly or mentioning, then it will override this default value. It will pick this value. First, understand the concept here. Okay. So how to provide this value? Very simple, sir. See now, whether it be created, whether it is destroyed or not, I don't know. Just a second. This is terminated. Fine. Now what I'll do, Terraform plan, or I'll do the apply. Terraform apply. Now what happens? If I just do Terraform apply, what happens here? Can anybody unmute yourself and please tell me?
It will create EC2 session.
Your voices are going really. Okay.
It will create EC2 machine, sir.
Yeah, it will create EC2 machine, but with what value?
Value with the T2 micro and
Yes.
and the AML. I mean,
yes. Those are the default values, correct?
Yes.
See, now what we'll do, will provide, you can override the default value. How you can override? Terraform apply -var, then you can provide your variable name. What is the variable name? Instance instance hyphen type. This is the variable name, right? You see here, this is the variable name. Now what I'm doing, I'm overwriting this value. Terraform apply -var -instance type is equal to whatever the value. Now I'm providing t2.nano. Okay, so just click on enter, and what it will do, instead of taking T2 micro, now I'm providing my customized value during the runtime. So it will pick this value now and it will create the infrastructure. Okay, see, this is what I'm trying to explain. Let it create. I'll tell you one more time. See, the resource has been created. Now, which value it has picked? Whether it has picked this T2.micro? No. You overwrited this value. You provided another value to the same variable. Okay. See, the concept here is, just to repeat, if you're not providing the new value during Terraform plan and apply, if you're not providing during Terraform plan and apply, it will pick the default value, whichever the things you have stored here. If you are providing, how you can provide? Same Terraform plan or Terraform apply, and then the other keyword you need to use is -var, then your variable name. Let me write it here just clearly. Terraform apply, then -var, then comes your variable name. Variable name is equal to variable value, whatever the value that you wanted to replace. Okay. So here, what is the default value? Here the default value was t2.micro. Now what I'm doing, I'm replacing that value. How you can replace? Terraform apply -var, then what is the variable name? Is instance type. Instance type is equal to, now I'll write it as t2.nano. I'm replacing my default value with the new value. What it will do, it will override this value and it will create this with this type of instance. Clear? If you're providing default, if you're not providing, it will pick the default value. If you're providing, then it will override the default value and it will pick the latest one. That is the concept here. Okay. So now we discussed about what are variables, how to store these variables. Instead of keeping everything into one file, you can create multiple other files. One is main.tf, another one is variables.tf. Right? And now here in variable section, you already provides the default value. If you want to override this value during runtime, How you can override this? Using -var and variable name is equal to variable value. This is how you can able to replace that default value. If you're not providing this overwriting value, then it will pick the default value. That is the concept, right? Any doubt here? Sir, anyone?
Sir, I have one doubt. When we
Yes,
change
please.
the default value, I mean, in the main .tf file also automatically it will change?
Yes,
Or,
yes. Automatically it will change. You no need to go and change here. You
okay.
already referred to it, right? See, now if I
Yes.
change this value, it will automatically reflect it here. That is why I told you it is a reusability. Okay. You cannot, not only here, even if I create another resource block here, now as of our discussion, this part, if you see, this is a variables.tf, correct? Variables.tf file. And this part is a, what is this part? This part is a main.tf. Let me write it down instead of main.tf file, correct? So now what I'll do, I'll create a one more EC2 machine here. Okay. So see, I'll provide it as second. Now, if I'm manually defining the values here, okay, just like this one value, I just copy paste it to here. How many times that you are going to do? Now, if I just place it once here, you can use as many times as you want here. Store it once, use as many times as you want. That is the advantage. Clear, Jaipal?
Yes.
Even in the main file, it will change. Yes, it will. Yeah, that is the question, right? So that
Yes,
is
sir.
the advantage of using. Now you can store these values into your variables.tf file. How your Terraform will come to know? Whenever you do Terraform plan and apply, whatever the files which exist or with the extension .tf, it will read all these files and it will refer those values internally. That is the concept. Just a simple thing. Okay. So if there are no doubts, I'll explain some variable types here. Okay. So now, where is this? In variables, we have multiple variable types. The major variables are, first one is something called as list, second one something called as map, third one something called as local, fourth one something called as output. These are the major important variables. We have these things tomorrow we need to discuss, not today. Tomorrow I'll complete all these four variables. Today, just minor things. One is known as string. Other variable known as integer. The last variable known as boolean. These are the different types of variables. Okay. Sir, if you don't know what is string, if you're studying it for the first time, see, we have two things. One is character and other one is string. What do you mean by character? Characters are nothing but your ABCD, A, B, C, D, your alphabets, A to Z. Any alphabet which is declared or defined a single character. A is a single character, B is a single character, C is a single character, right? Any alphabet which is single, then we call it as a character. Okay. How will you define this characters? Within single quote. You don't need these characters, but just for your understanding. What are characters? Characters are the single values which are enclosed in a single quote. Okay. Now, what are strings? Strings are the group of values A is nothing but ABC, BCA, some name, Manoj, combination of alphabets, a group of alphabets. Okay. How will you define strings? Inside a double quote. Now, what is string? String is a group of characters enclosed between double quotes. Double quotes. That is what a string is. Okay. So these are all strings. See here, this is enclosed between a double quotes. Again, this is enclosed between double quotes. Anything which is combination of alphabets, right? Then we call it as a string. Here it is a alphanumeric. That also comes under the same thing. What do you mean by alphanumeric? Combination of alphabets plus numbers. Alphanumeric or only alphabets. Here is only alphabet, right? So how will you define? Inside this double quotes. These are double quotes. Fine. That is the string. And what is the other thing? The other thing here is, let me erase this first. The next one is integer. What is integer? Integer is nothing but your numbers, sir. Numbers. What are the numbers? 1 to 9. 1 to 9. Whatever the number you take, how will you define? Directly you are going to define 1, 2, 3, something like that directly. There is no double quote, single quote for that. Okay. The last one is Boolean. What do you mean by Boolean? Boolean will have only two values. One is true and other one is false. These are the two values for it, true and false. Okay. These are the two values of your Boolean. And other things, list, map, local output, that we'll discuss, no worries. But now, these are the different types of variables which are available in your Terraform. String, integer, Boolean. String is nothing but a group of characters enclosed in a double quotes. Integer is nothing but a number. Boolean is nothing but a true or false. Okay, these are the three basic data structures. And now the other one is list, map, local, and output. Please remember this. See, now, I think what is the time? Okay, no problem. Sir, today, just go back. I'll upload third video. Third video is not that much important, but you should know that. What is dependency? What are the types of dependency? And how to store your credentials. That is all about your third video, right? That I'll upload. But the major thing is this one. What are variables? How to define a variables? How to refer those variables inside a resource block? How to overwrite or how to pass a variable value during runtime, that is during Terraform plan and apply, right? And how to create a new variables.tf file, how this Terraform will come to know that these are the two different files, right? That everything that I explained to you today. Just go back and revise whatever I just told you. And tomorrow we'll start discussing this list, map, local, output variables. These are the very, 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 very important things. Okay. So once this is done, the remaining things, it's very easy. Very, very easy, sir. We have some looping concepts, some count, something like that. Very easy, that we'll discuss. Okay. So, and one more thing here before I close. See, actually, I'm very sorry. This is because I have given so many holidays to you. This is because I was completely occupied. I didn't had a much time. In my current organization, we are going into production live support. So I didn't have a lot of time, but yesterday we completed everything 100% successful. Okay, from now on, I'm completely free, sir. I don't have any, I'll have some small work. Apart from that, nothing. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, or maybe today onwards, you will get everything and there will be no holiday for single day. Usually will take for Deepavali. That is not the case. From other than that, you will not be having will not be giving any holidays in middle. Will go very smoothly from now on. Okay. So whatever then at the same time, whatever the things that I promised. See, I always remember in Linux, I have some what is those? Some videos I need to record and upload. In Git and GitHub, I need to explain the branching strategy, agile methodology, and project there. Right? This is the expectation from Git and GitHub. In AWS, I need to explain the project. In Terraform, as of now, nothing. Right? And there are some other tools. Putty, I need to explain. Then I need to explain MobaXterm, just a 5 minutes videos. Whatever the things I promised, I have all the track here, right? So this with this track, I'll be uploading each and everything, whatever I promised. I'll not leave anything behind. Fine. So just give me excuse for these days. I was completely occupied. I don't have other option. Fine. So, but now on, you will get everything, whatever I promised you. Fine. Please, if you have any pending classes from now, please complete it. We are going very fast from now on. From tomorrow, see, I don't know, sir. Please let me know. See, 31st, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I guess. 4 days there are holidays. Okay, 31st is a Deepavali. 1st is a Kannada Rajyotsava in Karnataka. 2nd and 3rd is a, what is that? Saturday and Sunday. Please tell me when you want a holiday.
No holiday we want, sir.
Sorry?
We don't want any holiday.
Yeah, but for others, there are some married couples or something like that, right? They should celebrate. I don't know.
Actually, we're doing the in the morning class now only.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour only.
Okay.
So why would we do?
31st, you want the holiday. Fine.
Okay.
That means calendar. Where's this calendar?
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah?
Yes, Thursday.
Okay. Thursday is a holiday. Okay. See, Thursday, tomorrow I'll take a class. Fine. Tomorrow I'll complete all your variables part. You take a holiday on 31st. Okay, we'll resume 31st is a holiday. First I'll take the class. Second also I'll take the class. Only 31st is holiday. First I'll take, second I'll take. Sunday is a holiday. No worries. You take a rest. From Monday, we'll complete everything. Like next week, by end of next week, we'll complete the Terraform. Complete basic to advanced level, whatever is there, whatever is not there, everything that I'll complete in Terraform. Sir, if you are genuinely following this Terraform class, this is more than enough for you. Just start creating some other than EC2 instance. We'll also create security group, key pair, EBS volumes, VPC entire architecture, everything that will create. Okay. Apart from that, start exploring other things. How to create IAM role, how to create IAM user, how to create a CloudWatch, how to create everything, other services. Just start exploring the things. That is the only expectation from you. Okay. By end of next week, I'll complete the Terraform, and by end of 16th, we'll complete the Ansible. Okay. From 17th onwards, you'll be having we'll start with the Docker and Kubernetes. That is the plan. Fine. So if there are no doubts in point of the session, please.
Sir, one
Yes,
doubt.
please.
If we are using Git Bash, like, is there, I mean, any time limit we can set, sir? I mean, automatically, if you don't use for a few minutes or few seconds, automatically it will log of, I mean, the peering connection will go.
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
from AWS
There is
and
an
Git bash.
there is an option. See, that I don't know about your Git bash.
Uh,
Git bash I don't know, but there is an option for your SSH.
okay.
If you're not using a SSH connection more than 30 seconds, no movement of your cursor or your keyboard, then automatically it will log out.
Okay.
We did it for SSH. Even if you want, I can show it in within 30 minutes sometime. Fine. But
Okay, sir.
but Git bash, I doubt. I don't know. Maybe there is an option.
Yeah, in Mobaxterm, I know, but Git bash, I cannot see, sir, that option. That's why I
Okay,
asked.
okay. I don't know.
Okay, sir.
A lot of times I keep using putty,
Uh.
so I don't know, sir. Just explore
Okay,
it.
sir. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Fine. Please do not miss the class and complete the class. I'll upload both the today's and last session. Okay. So thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.